Hello there guys, welcome back to Working Witch, the series that goes alongside I Can't Witch Without and is my spell crafting creation type series alongside the discussion-y videos. So I haven't done one for a while, and over the festive season it's been a bit crazy, so I thought we would take a little minute out today to talk about something that I put together. I wouldn't particularly call it overt crafting, it's kind of repurposing, and it is inspired largely by Molly from Herspeak, who embraces this kind of arts and crafty approach and brings in imagery and things, as well as playing off the idea of the spell box, which I know Ange did a video on most recently. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the repurposing. I'm going to talk about the whole idea of it in a second, but I'm going to say that this particular box is related to the mini-series that I have said I'm going to do, and I'm still going to do, which is to do with healing, particularly at this time of the year. I think that the beginning of a new calendar year, it doesn't feel like my new year, because my new year was at Halloween. But the beginning of a new calendar year always is kind of depressing. We move into a time of year which usually is quite grey and lifeless. Now this year all bets are off about what's going on with the weather, but unusually it's a lot more stark and grey, and all the Christmas decorations go down and all the lights go down, and it becomes a bit dreary, it becomes a bit barren. And it is widely regarded to be the worst time of the year for suicides and depression and negative mind states that lead to harm. And from that I wanted to go into talking about healing that from a witch perspective, as well as a human perspective. To be honest, I think it's all one and the same. Where I'm concerned, it's who I am, so it kind of intermingles into one, but I think that sort of healing can be done regardless of what spiritual path you follow. So for this week's Working Witch, I'm calling it Spell Box I Am a Unicorn, and this idea comes from Molly, and absolutely from Herspeak. And I was thinking about this as I saw this particular box. Now the box by itself is actually a Bailey's Truffle Christmas box, and so this gorgeous sort of glittery shimmer on top was already there, and I gutted it and repurposed it, so it's not like hugely artistic or anything, and it's not necessarily an area which I would venture into very often, but I felt that this kind of merited it. So this is a spell box, and the idea of the spell box is to perform a function, and the idea of having it as being a unicorn box is very much about healing something within my shadow self. And I get feelings particularly around the Christmas period, and I know why it is. It's just working through it and healing it is something else. Feelings of inadequacy, of not being good enough, of not being popular enough, not being included, not feeling loved, not feeling part of something, feeling relegated and neglected and things of that nature, and being shunted off to the side, not part of the cool kids, whatever, all that sort of nonsense. And it kind of grates on self-esteem, and a lot of it is fairly unreasonable. A lot of it is perception versus reality, and it's not healthy, shall we say. So I wanted to create the unicorn box to sort of celebrate uniqueness. I'm a unicorn, like Molly has it. And I thought, I was just looking at this box over Christmas, and it just came to me what I wanted to do with it. And I was like, okay, right. So the idea behind the spell box is to create a space in which you are creating a positive healing space. It's not quite an altar space, it's much more of a spell box. The box came, you know, as is. It's kind of a whole box, as you can see. So I didn't create the box or anything like that. I've just basically embellished it, and that's for a number of reasons. One, I can't draw, or I can kind of paint, but not very well. And I don't have the materials to paint at the minute anyway. And so I really wanted it to be something I could look at and feel positive about, you know. I don't want to see my artwork in front of me. It's just like, it's not one of my strengths, and this box is all about, you know, making myself remind myself of who I am, like healing that sort of negative worry, that negative fear, and putting things in this box and keeping, you know, messages to the self in this box, and anything that is an achievement, you know, writing it down, and it goes into this box and it becomes a little vortex of positivity. It becomes a reminder that, you know, you're a unicorn, you're special, you're one of a kind, you're unique, no one else can do you, and not everyone's going to appreciate you, but that's cool, you know. You gotta roll with the punches and just keep on moving. So this is what I did for the crafting side of it. It's not hard, it's clearly not. It's not particularly in depth, but quite a lot of it is quite thought out from a witch perspective. So the box was as it is in front of you, but I really like the idea of having this sort of this gold glitter shimmer. Anyway, this is why I chose this particular box. And gold is a colour of success. It's the big success colour. It's an achievement colour. It's a very, very positive colour. It's a very, very powerful colour in terms of positivity of glitter and shimmer and shimmy, and that's what I'm all about. I love glitter and shine, and it picks up the light very, very well, and reflects the light very, very well, and almost creates a sense of light because it is gold. So when we're moving into this sort of grey, blurgy time of year, and all these things sort of creep in a bit, it can be good to have a colour base which just smashes that out. And I have this unicorn card, as you can see. This is from a gift that my oldest friend sent me, and I forgot what it was, but it was a postcards of all sorts of mythical creatures in it. And this one has rainbow rings on his horn, and it says on his thing, this one likes rainbows. And I kind of like that for a number of reasons. The colour spectrum, it sort of covers all your bases. It kind of reminds me a little bit of sort of a chakra cone of magic going on the unicorn's horn. It's kind of like, you know, like the cone of magic, like the vortex of magic. Magical things are happening right there. I kind of like that a lot. And it covers all your colour bases in terms of magic. It's like, remember who you are, remember everything you've been through, remember you are magic, all that good stuff. And then this one, this unicorn likes rainbows. Like, loads of people might like rainbows or whatnot, but it's just talking a little bit about what this unicorn likes. And I think that's good to remember when you're sort of doing positivity work on yourself. And because of that, I also cut out these rainbow strips, and it looks a little bit like it's attaching it to the box, which is kind of what's intended, but they also look a little bit like band-aids, like plasters, and I kind of like that. It's like kind of, you know, it's basically like a cosmic plaster of self-love. Just slap that cosmic plaster of self-love on and remember who you are and all the good things and the spectrum of light within yourself. That's kind of why it's there, and I really kind of like that. There's a crow just right opposite me in the tree. Right, sorry. So, Mummy's listening. Right, so I like the idea of that sort of, that cosmic band-aid thing. And then down here, like, why have you got a black silhouette of Halloween haunted house on your on your I'm a Unicorn? Well, A, I really like black silhouettes on things, but really it's being the representation of how much Halloween Samhain means to me. Same with the bat up here, and there is a star down here, although the star's kind of witchy or pagany if you like. But the haunted house silhouette is when I feel most myself, is the excitement that I feel for Halloween. There is nothing I don't like about that time of year, and obviously, and as somebody said to me, you know, we get to this time of the year and we're about as far away from autumn and Samhain as we can get. Not quite, but almost. And it can feel a bit of a downer for those of us who feel most alive in autumn and really, really enjoy Samhain, because we're about as far away from it as we can get. So this little silhouette is to remind me that, you know, Halloween is a part of my heart, it's a part of my state of mind, and it always goes with me. And it's not just that time in the year, it's a part of who I am, and something that excites me and thrills me and brings out the inner child a bit in me and all that good stuff. Then I have bedazzled the unicorn a bit more with some of these little rhinestones, and that's just to make it a bit more individual, a bit more unique, and I kind of like, you know, adding a bit more colour. Same with the little moons, although the moons all around it not only add a little bit more of a reflection, a bit more light in there, a bit more gold magic, but also moon magic to sort of counterbalance the huge amount of gold going on in this. So it kind of brings in the little moon and the sun energy as well. Also the decals are what I put on my starry-eyed pots for the store, on my smudges, and the little pots of herbal blends or whatever. So they kind of represent my artistic creativity from the store a little bit as well. Then we have a little sort of crow. It's actually a little label, and it's actually from Beth Wildwood. She sent one of my antlers that I purchased from her with this little stamp, and I put a little decal on there as well. I don't know if it's crow actually, it's just a black bird, but you know. And then this was her gift wrap, and I saved that gift wrap because I liked it so much. I was like, what am I going to do with that gift wrap? That's awesome. I think it's pre-done gift wrap actually. Looking at it, it's all pre-done. I'm pretty sure it's bought, but I really, really liked it, and I was considering putting some kind of mirror on the inside. I haven't done that yet, but I was thinking about it. So then the idea is that, you know, you open it up and you put things in here which speak to healing that problem, speak to reminding you, you know, of your value, of your worth, of your unicornness, if you like. So this is something I've just been doing a little bit over the festive season. I've been mostly taking it easy, taking it calm, just healing and working through. But I kind of like this idea. I thought it was fun. Not entirely my own idea, which is why we have it accredited. And I thought it might just be, you know, something fun and helpful for people who are wondering about simple ways to heal going forward. Something they can do that's not terribly expensive, a little bit of repurposing things that you may have around in the house right now as of the end of Yule and Xmas. There is another, maybe at least a couple more things I'm going to talk about repurposing, but one in particular definitely, once the base material is available. It's not quite free of foodstuffs yet, so. But yeah, so this is definitely a repurpose more than a flat out crafting from scratch, for sure. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's the incredible artwork or anything, because it's not mine. It's just, you know, a collection of images. But I like the idea. I think it has a sort of positive purpose, a particularly witchy purpose, if you like, that really, I mean, technically speaking, I just thought of something. I was technically speaking, this is sort of a new agey thing, a new agey craft, and some people aren't going to like that whatsoever, and it's fine. You know, whatever's your bag, it's up to you. But I was thinking in terms of healing. I got quite upset about this image over about this issue over Christmas. So I was like, right, okay, what can we do about it? And this is something that I did about it, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Many blessings.